want to do that at the beginning because I thought you'd get it too quick.
Yep. Yeah.
Ben E. King,
Such a cool bass line.
1961.
61.
Yeah. I was negative 19 years old.
Stand by me.
Good job, Richard. Well done.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Great Measures.
Great measures.
My name is Richard. This is Judson. He's overly excited today.
Am I?
No.
Woohoo! Woohoo! Yo!
Jesus.
All right!
We're gonna do Korn.
Woohoo! Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
You don't seem okay.
Hey, Korn. I could take or leave Korn.
Really?
Yeah.
What you've heard of him so far?
Well, you know, no, I like Korn. Whatever.
So with this one, we're gonna go all the way back to their self-titled debut album. This one's called Blind.
Thought you thought the name of the band was Korn. Oh, the name of the song is Blind.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, they did a self-titled debut album called Blind.
Oh, I'm sorry. I meant this song is called Blind.
Gotcha.
My bad. Yeah, the song's called Blind. The band is Korn.
Karen.
Let's do it. All right, this is Blind by Korn. Ready to roll?
Blind Korn. Proceed, Richard.
see I'm going blind. I could 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 see I'm going blind.
What do you think about that one?
I really liked that song. Do you know if this is the song that they played when they played at Woodstock? Mm-hmm. That's the first song that they did?
It's the one that you see in the documentary.
Okay, yeah. Well, that's the first song they played. That I
figured you had heard it.
I just remember the first guitar.
Yeah.
The yeah, but they don't. I didn't pay attention to the whole thing, you know.
Sure.
You know, I thumbed my nose at Korn back in the day because I just didn't go that way with music at the time. And I think seeing them on TV and their look, it just wasn't my scene.
Sure.
But I think that's a thick song. The bass, man.
Yeah.
Anything we've ever listened to with them, the bass is just so cool sounding.
Yeah.
And I like their style. They have that, you know, like it's these just abstract guitar things. Of course, they come in with their whatever, but just they fill space really well. And the more I learn their lead singer, the more he kind of he grows on me.
Yeah. This was 1994, by the way.
Yeah. Wow.
Which again, we've talked about it in other videos. I think if you rewind back to 1994 and the music that was coming out at that time, the shock that this could have been to somebody, you know.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, this just seems like it's sort of mixed together some genres. My favorite part of the song is the last part of it, other than the bass, when the bass is hitting that low thing, you know. And I like the beginning of the song. I just like the two guitars whenever they would kind of break things apart. I like when they would break things apart in the song. But the last part of the song, that sort of sounds like Tribe Called Quest or Diggable Planets.
Sure.
Or just that old hip hop, you know?
Yeah.
I wish they'd go on with that forever.
So this was originally written by the lead singer, Jonathan Davis. He was in a band before Korn called Sex Art. One word, Sex Art. I don't know how you say it, but Korn's contribution came once they re-recorded the song for their debut album in '94. Even though the song was completed by Sex Art, Korn added an extended song intro, which is a faster interpolation of the drum intro to Too Many Puppies by Primus, which is cool.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty much, I mean, there's,
I can see I'm going blind.
Yeah.
What's he talking about?
It's a great question.
I mean, I didn't really get, you know the lyrics to the song?
I mean, not offhand. I mean, I know them as I'm listening to them.
Well, yeah, musically, I need to read the lyrics.
Okay.
Hold on a second. fuck, this is a tough one here. I don't like the "Are You Ready" at the beginning. Okay.
So we took a brief pause
Yeah.
to read the lyrics.
Well, I don't know if I put that in there, but maybe, whatever. It's just a song about hopelessness, hopelessness.
Where does the blindness come in?
Just becoming blind to everything. Going to a place where, and maybe that's a good thing.
Hopelessly blind.
Yeah, just sort of can't see anything but despair. Blind to everything else, blind to anything that might help. He mentioned self-esteem in there, low self-esteem. How deep can I go? Deeper and deeper I'm going into this pain and this hole where you're just blinded by it all. So maybe that's what it means. I can see that I'm going blind. You know, blinding yourself to everything else. That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised by the musical aspect of Korn. I like it. I liked that song.
I was trying to think if we've only done 2 songs from them, haven't we? We did "Freak on a Leash"
Yeah.
way back in the day, and then we did My Time.
I don't know. I
think.
did another one.
Yeah, we did one more.
But this one it's just thicker. Just the bass of Korn is so awesome. And the drummer, they're just on top of it together. And the mix of this song is really good. It was just thick. There didn't sound like it. Some of the other music, this divorced dad rock. Have you heard this?
I mean, that's what when we did Creed, right?
Yeah, you didn't say that to me though, did you?
I called it dad rock.
Yeah, but there's a difference between dad rock and divorced dad rock.
Okay.
I don't understand the divorced dad. Somebody else brought this up to me.
So what is divorced dad rock?
Rage Against the Machine, Korn, Creed, Linkin Park.
Okay.
But I hate this. I hate this.
That it's called that?
Yeah, that they have that's not necessarily describing the music as it is a group of people that are sort of our age where divorce is running rampant, you know, and they just happen to listen to that music when they were kids. So they're just, it's a shot at people that are getting divorced, not the music. You know, do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I'm also picturing a lot of divorced dads that are big fans of those bands that you just listed.
Yeah, but are they driving down the road crying to Arms Wide Open by Creed right now? You know, are they turning on Guerrilla Radio by Rage Against the Machine? I think I just take offense that people would include somebody like Rage Against the Machine or System of a Down or even Korn for that matter.
It's also like I don't know the analogy I can use, but it's the odds are pretty high for not only divorce for people our age, but the odds are also pretty high that at some point most of these people listen to some part of that music.
Yeah,
I'm not justifying it. I don't want it to sound like I'm justifying it. I'm saying it's not a stretch that you put any effort into naming it that.
There's nothing about the music itself.
Yeah.
That makes it divorced dad rock. Like there's nothing.
Those musicians back in the day were like, we know our demographic.
Yeah, well, they're not
divorced
crying.
Dads.
Yeah, right. They're not crying in the songs about their marriages and their fail. You know, they're having to pay child support, whatever. Yeah. That's so stupid to me. I mean, you call it death metal because they're discussing the subject of death and it's metal and it's the music. So where's it's almost like they're just trying to degrade the whole thing of music, I don't know. It pissed me off when I heard it.
Okay.
You know, just because it's. I don't get it. I don't. How can divorced dad rock? I mean, if it's predominantly men listening to it, fine. If they're now statistically maybe divorced, okay. But what does that have to do with the music itself, other than that they come from a generation of people? They're Generation X, basically.
It's just internet memes.
Stupid. Or maybe, is it Generation X or is it, what are you?
Millennials.
You're a millennial?
I think cutoff was 84 for millennials. I think 84 is the oldest.
You're a millennial.
Yep.
Not me, dog.
Yeah, that's what's wrong with me.
I'm a Generation Xer.
Yeah, you are old.
I was hearing a talk the other day about all that, about how Generation X got skipped over, basically.
How so?
Well, you had baby boomers, right, and Generation X, and then millennials, and then Gen Z.
Gen Z.
And
What is it now, Gen Alpha?
I don't have any idea.
I think that's what it is.
I have no idea. But Gen X sort of never had their day in the sun. Like they never, you went from baby boomers basically running everything to all of a sudden millennials took over. Like Generation X just kind of chilled, just kind of hung out, listened to divorced dad rock, I guess,
And grunge.
and grunge, and never really did much when you're talking about like people in power and that kind of thing. You know, we just kind of coasted through and didn't do a whole lot. Not that there's not wonderful people in there that couldn't have, but it just seemed like the millennials came here and were like, rah, 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 give me my things. And now Gen Z, same deal.
Are there, well, I guess like Zuckerberg would be a millennial, wouldn't he?
Yeah, it's weird. Generation X sort of got skipped over because it was sort of there wasn't anything to rebel against.
I was trying to think of prominent, successful people.
It's difficult to do. There was nothing.
I guess Elon Musk is probably Generation X.
Well, they're saying that right now Generation X is starting to get there.
Okay.
Is starting to get footing, even though Elon is using Gen Zers to do his work for him in some ways. You're starting to see a resurgence of Generation X because there's a lot of cool talent. There's, Generation X are the generation that remembers time without the internet. That was alive during time without the internet and was young.
Sure.
And then also crossed over into it, you know what I mean? And we're still young when it happened. I mean, I didn't have internet at all when I was a teenager. And then in my early 20s, I got a cell phone. So
I was probably 10 or 11 when we first got internet out.
yeah, so I mean, you were sort of you were right on the cusp of being a screen baby,
Yeah.
and we weren't. We were outside playing.
Yeah.
We didn't have that. So you have Generation X has a really interesting perspective of the world in that sense. I heard Eric Weinstein giving a talk about this. Exact same thing on how Generation X sort of just missed their opportunity or missed the boat, and it was because there was no conflict for us. It was an inner conflict, the whole grunge thing was raw. What am I really? There was no going against the government kind of a thing at that time. That didn't happen until later, until millennials came, and then millennials were like I said before, rah, 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 rah. But there was nothing for them to rebel against. Everything was fine. The 90s were fine. You know what I mean? Like the 80s, people were, granted, everybody was sort of asleep at the wheel. Everybody was just sort of taking, but there was abundance to take from, and the Clinton years were fine. And it was just kind of, people were making money and other, but they were obviously taking advantage. But either way, it was just smooth sailing. You see if you watch these old videos of kids in high school in the 90s, everybody was kind of happy. Nobody was having a problem with anything. Everybody was getting along. There were some school shootings, don't get me wrong. But it was in general not protesty and everybody sort of. I mean, you had your classes, I guess, your groups. People had their little groups, but in general there was not much dissonance.
Yeah, I think a lot of that changed in 9/11.
Yeah, most probably so. Probably so. I mean, it
opened a lot of people's eyes to things being a little bit amiss.
Well, that also caused a lot of problems. I mean, we can sit here all day and discuss how we think 9/11 came into being, and if it was just an attack from the outside, sure, things are amiss. If it was an attack from the inside, things are amiss.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
So there just wasn't a whole lot of that going on. It was just sort of.
Yeah, I mean, you had in the 90s, you had Oklahoma City.
Yeah, I mean, there were things that happened.
Shooting wise, there's
one in Pearl in 19.
Pearl, there was Jonesboro, and then Columbine.
I mean, there were things that went on. I'm not saying. I mean, there's.
No, I'm not arguing with you.
But I'm just talking about as a massive.
Just pointing out.
There wasn't this whole movement in the country of just total separation and everybody just deciding everything is so horrible. You know, it was like, it's okay.
Yeah,
we're okay.
Yeah.
But just anyway, I don't know what triggered that other than the whole divorced dad conversation.
Yeah.
Whoever came up with that is a moron. Okay? Quit doing stuff like that. It's not even funny.
Gen Zers and their internet memes. That's who we're gonna blame it on.
Yeah. I've never been married. You know, I like those bands. So you know what I'm saying? Like, you put those bands. Korn, I think, was in that category. Like, screw you. You know, divorced dad rock, whatever. I don't care. This is a good song. I liked it. The end should have gone on forever. The end was the coolest part of the song to me.
I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah, it was cool. I'm surprised that I at first was like Korn, and then I liked it.
Yeah. Thanks for watching, everybody. We are Great Measures. My name is Richard. This is Judson. That was Blind by Korn. Have
Great
a
Measures.
wonderful day, everybody.